So after we prepare our worksheet, we are now ready for the next step in the accounting cycle. So the next step in the accounting cycle after we prepare our worksheet is our adjusting entries. So many businesses adopt the accrual based accounting. So this entails adjustments at the end of every accounting period so that income and expenditures are allocated to the correct accounting period and also are in compliance with the principles of recognition, revenue recognition, matching, and time period as adjustments or assumptions. These adjustments are made through adjusting journal entries. So, the same as the journal entries, we will have debits and credits. So, adjusting entries are for accruals, prepayments, depreciation, and write offs. So, these are prepared so that income and expenditures are completed in the accrual basis and are in compliance with GAAP or generally accepted accounting principles. The adjusting entries are entered in the next two columns of the worksheet but are not yet entered into the accounting records. So example of an adjusting journal entry is for your depreciation. So for example, you have an equipment, you bought an equipment worth $10,000 in January of this year, and it is estimated that it will have a useful life of 10 years. So, the company opted to adopt the straight line method of depreciation. So, you will have to divide the amount of the value of the equipment, which is 10,000 divided by 10 years. So you will have a depreciation of 1,000 each year. So in order to record this adjusting entry, you will have to debit depreciation in the amount of 1,000 and credit accumulated depreciation of 1,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and prepare our adjusting entries for our sample company. Okay, so let's prepare the adjusting journal entries for Luna Law Office. But before that, let me uh, tell you what are the adjustments that we have to make at the end of the accounting period or at the end of the month, in this case for Luna. For example, we have the depreciation of the furnitures and office equipment, and we have the prepayments of the office supplies. We are going to record the expense of the expensed part of the office supplies and additional examples for accrual, doubtful accounts, and errors. So let's go ahead and prepare our computation for depreciations. So it is said that the furnitures and office equipment has a useful life of 10 years and will be depreciated using the straight line method. So that would be 8,500 divided by 10 years. Okay, so that would be the monthly at the yearly depreciation. But for the month of March, we only have 70.83. Okay. So next we have the prepayments. So at the end of the month, office supplies of Luna Law Office is valued at 2,000. So this is the asset part of the out of the 2,500 office supplies. So you have to get the difference between the value and the should be value of 2,000. So this is the expense part. So for the accruals, these are expenses. Accrued expenses are expenses already incurred, but these are not yet paid. So it means that these are accrued expenses are expenses or liabilities. Accrued income, on the other hand, these are already earned but not yet received, so these are receivables. Okay, so for this one, this is an accrued professional dues. Let's say that the local law professional body that Luna uh, is part of is uh, billing her 300 uh, for the professional dues. So this one is we will adjust this and record this as accrued expense. And next we have, for example, accounts receivables. There are clients that are not, for example, they are no longer fit to pay the accounts that they owe us. So we can claim that as bad debts or doubtful accounts. So we will compute that. So that would be here. It is said that bad debts is 10% of the accounts receivable. So that would be 10,000 times 10%. That would be 1,000. And lastly, we have errors. So for example, the bank charge should have been 75, but it is recorded at 57. So the difference will be recorded as an adjustment. Okay, so now we are ready to prepare our adjusting entry. So the first one is depreciation. We will debit depreciation of 70.83 and credit accumulated depreciation 70.83. Next we have to record the expense part of the prepayment. We have debit office supplies expense in the amount of 500 and credit office supplies. This is the asset account. So in effect, we are reducing the asset account to 2,000 by deducting 500. So these two are the adjusting entries that we are going to put in our adjustments here in the worksheet. But in order to show you the other journal and adjusting journal entries for the rest of the example, so we have here number 3, we have um, professional dues of 300 and credit accrued professional dues 300. So once Luna make payment for these professional dues, we will debit accrued professional dues and credit cash. Next, we have number 4, the doubtful accounts. We debit bad debts or doubtful accounts in the amount of 300 and credit allowance for bad debts. Allowance for bad debts is a contra asset account of the accounts receivable. So once you present the accounts receivable, you will put accounts receivable 10,000 less allowance for bad debts of 300. So your accounts receivable will have a net balance of 9,700. And lastly, we have the errors. We have bank charge of 18 and credit cash in bank of 18. Okay, so we are now ready to put the adjusting entries to our worksheet. So remember the first two are the only adjusting entries that we are going to put in the worksheet in this part pertaining to Luna Law Office. Number 3, 4, and 5 are only examples. So let's go ahead and put our first adjusting entry. We have, let's put depreciation here. Depreciation in the amount of 70.83 and accumulated depreciation of 70.83. Next, we have the adjustments for the office supplies. Let's put the expense here. So the office supplies expense is 500 and we are going to credit the asset account in the amount of 500. So let's go ahead and total. Okay, so the total of our adjustments is 570.83. So that is our adjusting entries and how to put it in our worksheet.